Final segment on our 2018-19 season preview. Time for some predictions. Who wins NBA MVP?
I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard. I just think that he's going to Toronto. He's very quiet. I think last year the whole league, the way the whole league perceived him bothered him. It would, because I mean, he never says a word. He never defends himself. He doesn't say a word. There was more stuff coming out of San Antonio last year. And I just think he's got something to prove. He's going to be one of those silent assassins that's going to go out there every single night. And I think Toronto's going to, they may not have a better record than they had last year, but they'll be a better team, you know, and a better playoff team. Because Kawhi Leonard, to me, is about as good as it gets on a two-way player in our league, and I think he has something to prove. I hope he's healthy.
The silent part we know is going to be true.
Yes. Yeah,
that for sure.
I hope he's healthy.
I would say, I just think it will be somebody in the Eastern Conference. You know, I think between Harden, Westbrook, and LeBron, they will, and Anthony Davis, that they kind of equal each other out. Because I don't know if any of those teams will be able to separate themselves because of Golden State as well. So I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
I'm going with Kyrie Irving.
I'm going to echo. I got two. I think Kevin Durant, I'll start with Kevin Durant. I think he wants to establish that he's the best player in the league.
Agreed.
And I think he'll come out with a mindset this year to really establish that. I think he wanted to fit in with Golden State. But now I think he's ready to show, like, okay, I can get 30, 35 a night. And I think he's going to go for that 30, 35 a night. And then Kyrie in the East, like you say, I think he's going to be the most dominant player in the East, because when I look at the point guard position in the East, he's it every single
Barbecue
night.
chicken.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I look at that little fella doing his stuff, and I don't see nobody stepping up defensively to challenge him. So that's why I say Kyrie or Durant.
Chris?
Yeah, I was definitely going to go with Kyrie. I was thinking that as soon as you asked the question. He's got all the tools around him. He's in a great system. He's got a great coach. He, like Isiah was saying, the depth at point guard in the East, no disrespect to everybody, but it is not as deep as the West Coast. So that allows him to be able to rest sometimes on defense. And with the development of the young guys with Brown and Tatum, them getting another year under their belt, being on their own without him, I think him taking that step back, he can kind of see where he can affect the game better. And I mean, he's unguardable.
I agree with everyone here about Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, but I'm going to take a different approach. I think because, in Kyrie's case, the East is so weak and his team is so good that he won't have to be great every night for them to win. And I also think Kyrie's at an interesting point. I mean, first of all, he's had some durability issues. Missed last year. I thought last year he really felt like he had to prove. He wanted to prove that he could shine outside of LeBron James, away from his shadow. And I think he certainly did that and proved that. I think now he wants to win. And I think he realizes that I need to beat Golden State. And in order to beat Golden State, I need the guys around me to be at their best. So I wouldn't be surprised if his numbers aren't as gaudy as they could be. I also think Durant, they're so good. He doesn't have, I mean, he can average 35, but I don't know if he will. I don't know if he needs to. And so to say all that, I actually think, and I'm a little bit out on a limb on this, but I think I like Anthony Davis. And I don't think his team is going to be
on a limb. Just
no,
let you know.
what I'm saying,
No.
I mean, no, when I say that,
Short
look,
limb.
but the reason I say that is because his team is still unsure how good they'll be. But I think getting rid of Boogie Cousins, now he can really flourish like he did at the end of the season in the postseason. They'll miss Rondo.
For sure.
They will miss Rondo, and that's where I don't know, are they a playoff team? Are they a sixth seed? I just think almost like it's time. Like, I feel like this guy has kind of quietly under the radar been so good. And if his team can be good, I know he's going to put up the numbers to be in that conversation. And I think Anthony Davis.
That's the question, right? If they don't make
year,
the playoffs, it's
Right.
It just doesn't happen. You don't win MVP
Exactly.
from
Well, I
outside
mean,
the
in his
postseason.
case, they've got to be third. They've got to have home court in the playoffs. I mean,
They're
that's just-
going to be a playoff
Yeah.
team. I'd be shocked if New Orleans doesn't make the playoffs.
I
I think
mean,
he's
are
that
they an
good.
eighth seed or are they?
No, I honestly, I tell you what, I look at the West differently. I think New Orleans has got a chance to be, you know, get home court advantage. I really do. I mean, you know, a lot of these teams out there haven't proven to me, you know, no one here can sit here and say Oklahoma City's going to be this. Right. We have no idea what they're going to be. No, it's hard to put what's Portland going to be. Are they? I mean, and I love him. I think that's a great pick. I mean, I love that kid. Sure. I love the way they play. They got rid of Boogie, and they started getting up and down the floor. I tell you what, some dudes I never heard of were getting off. Like, who's that dude? Like, you know, you're on the internet punching them up, going like, damn, that guy came out of nowhere because just the way they played, you know. And so that I like.
But I also think it was a lot because of Rondo. They were playing that way too.
They'll miss Rondo, no question.
Chris, conference finalists, East and West.
East and West, I'm gonna go with. East, I'm gonna go with Boston, Philly. I mean, West, you got to go with Houston. And you know what? I'd rather see. You all want to see. No disrespect to Houston. I know how guys get sometimes when you leave them out, but I want to see LA and the Warriors.
You want to see the Lakers?
Oh yeah, I want to see all the old school rivalry dudes come back out and get it going.
The Lakers and the Warriors?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
There are no repercussions. That's true.
So how do guys get?
You know better than me. You know how that rivalry. You know, come on. Yeah. You know the rivalry runs deep, and especially West Coast basketball. Let's be frank. You know, there's some old school Warriors fans from the Run TMC days back in the 80s and 90s, and there's some Showtime Lakers fans from the 80s and 90s from back in the day as well. They're still there. There's still that rivalry there, and that's one of the things that we're missing, I think, in basketball right now. It's just two teams that just don't like each other, that go out there and compete. You know what it is when they hit the court.
Zeke, conference finalists.
In the East, I got Philly, Boston, throwback. In the West, I got Golden State and whoever shows up.
Golden State, TBD.
Yeah, to be determined.
Whoever shows up.
You know, in the Western Conference, I think you're going to see, of course, you know, Golden State, and I don't know if Houston's going to be as good as they were last year. I just don't know. It's easy to pick them, but I look and say, you know, can there be a new team coming up? Can a Denver? Can one of these teams just take that next step up? Can Oklahoma City finally kind of get it together and play 10 games in a row good? I think that Toronto and Boston will play in the East. I do. I just am such a believer in Kawhi if he's healthy. Just his impact he has on the game in his quiet way, just defending everybody. I'm just a big fan of his, and I just think he's going to explode this year with a big year.
Kenny?
As great as he was in San Antonio, it was still, man, that damn system's pretty good too. So now it's Kawhi Leonard is imposing the system around him. And he has to take a mentality that LeBron takes when he's gone to Miami, when he's come back to Cleveland, which is, I don't think he's ever done or had to do. So I don't know if he's ready for that yet. So I can't give it to Toronto, and that's why I'm gonna go Boston and Philadelphia in the East. Because Embiid and Ben Simmons, they know who they are.
Yep.
Right.
There's no doubt those two guys know who they are.
And Golden State
and to be determined.
I just don't know if Philly's ready yet. You know, I think we see the greatness in their young players, but they're still young. And I think there's still a lot of growing and maturing. And I think, you know, now they have to deal with expectations. You know, this time last year, we weren't talking about Philadelphia as a playoff team. And now we're putting them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Kawhi, in his quiet way, I don't care where you put him. I just feel like he's going to do what Kawhi does.
But granted,
I don't mean they can win a championship.
No, I'm saying.
But I just think in terms of getting to the conference finals in a very weak Eastern Conference, I'd give Toronto the nudge over Philly.
I assume none of you has changed your Warriors pick?
No.
Well, then
Wait, anything happened in the last hour we don't know about?
No.
Okay, then we good.
Just checking.
Nobody got traded. Nobody got hurt. All right, we good.